Hello everybody on YouTube and all the NFL YouTube prognosticators and NFL fans everywhere, and sports fans around the world. This is Andrew Warren, back here once again, giving you my early predictions for the standings for the 2018 NFL season. Well, the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals are long gone. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors and the Washington Capitals. Both teams won their championships respectfully. Now that LeBron James in the NBA, who's a free agent from the Cleveland Cavaliers, he can probably go to Los Angeles for the Lakers. He'll probably go to Houston, maybe Philly, possibly. But on the other side with the NHL, with the Stanley Cup Finals, you got the Vegas Golden Knights, who are just got beaten down, and they're trying to rise up again for this coming season. As for the Washington Capitals, Barry Schultz from the Washington Capitals stepped down. Then he got a head coaching job for the New York Islanders. So we got a lot of drama on both sides of both sports, but that's NBA and the NHL. This is football. We're going to talk about, because training camps are on the corner, we're going to talk about the standing predictions and the early playoff predictions. I'm going to kick things off in the NFC conference. So we're going to start things off with the NFC West. On the NFC side, I got the LA Rams going 12-4. I mean, Jared Goff is going to be having an MVP candidate year, I think. I think he's going to take them to the promised land. Maybe go far and reach, who knows. But I think the Rams are on the right track. I think they're going to be going straight to stealing that division again, back-to-back years. The Rams are a surpriser this year. I don't think they're going to be a surprise this year. I think they're going to be a really good contention. We'll see how they turn out. And the 49ers are second place in the NFC West. I got the 49ers in 10-6. I'm not going to lie. Jimmy Garoppolo did an excellent role at the end of the year. He might get bigger, like Tom Brady does. It still hurts to this day that my Patriots got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, but his contract was expiring. They had to do something with him. But still, I would have loved to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, but we had to do what we had to do because we had Tom Brady. But that being said, though, I think Jimmy Garoppolo will take him to the promised land. He's going to lose some games. I know he was unbeaten at the end of the year, but I think he's going to probably lose intentional games this year. And I don't think he's going to reach the playoffs, but I think they're going to be a 10-6 mark to be right up to that range. I think that's going to be a good choice for them, for the 49ers. Third place, I think it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks. And I think the Seattle Seahawks train wreck is going to go right downhill right there. The Legion of Doom is going to become the Legion of Boom. Gone. That's how I feel about it, Richard Sherman gone. Ugh. Big hole to fill on that. Big hole. If they can fix their defense, I would give them out of the second place instead of third. But I can't see that. And Pete Carroll looks like his train wreck could be on the end of the rise too, so maybe, I don't know, but I think the Seahawks will go 7-9 in that case. And for last place, I got the Arizona Cardinals. So Josh Rosen in the Arizona Cardinals are going to get 4-12. I'm not going to lie about that. To this day, I think Josh Rosen should have been not said what he said in the draft. I think when he said that 10 other teams have made a huge mistake, or 9 other teams have made a huge mistake, or something like that, then the Arizona Cardinals picked him up, that is going to bite him in the you-know-what from them. The NFL and some other players are probably going to attack him, probably sack him a bunch of times, and then to make him have a big welcome in the NFL moment, just to wake him up. This is really a big game. You should not shoot your mouth off like that. So I think that's going to bite Josh Rosen and the you-know-what on that one. And that being said of that, the Cardinals still have a little more work to do if they want to continue with them. And I understand they have Larry Fitzgerald in the offense. That's not really the big issue. The biggest issue is their defense. If they get their defense going, like they had, what Bruce Arians did, this would be no problem. But now they don't have a defense that Bruce Arians supports. So I think Arizona is going to be a 4-12 team. I mean, it's amazing for Arizona. A couple of years ago, they went to the went to the division conference championship game with Bruce Arians, and all of a sudden it just went downhill from there. I mean, it's amazing. So that's how I feel about the Cardinals. They're gonna go 4-12 this year. NFC South, first place. It's tied for first place, but the team is gonna take first place is gonna be the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, I'm not gonna lie, the Saints had to do what they had to do last year to get things back on track with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. They haven't done well since Bountygate. They haven't been the same since then. Last year it came different. Just like that, division champs. That's gonna roll into this coming year too. They're gonna win. They're gonna probably be 12-4, good enough to win the NFC South. Second place, it's gonna be tied with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not gonna lie, that Atlanta, very good team. Matt Ryan, really good offense, really good defense, but they had an injury bug last year, and now they're gonna go redeem themselves and get back what they were a couple of years ago when they were in the Super Bowl run, and then all of a sudden it just crumbled down from there. You know how that story went on that one. But that being said, on that, Matt Ryan is gonna get back on track. The team's gonna get back on track, and it's gonna be good enough for second place, tied for first place. They're gonna be 12-4. Cam Newton and the Panthers are going to take third place for me. Yeah, Cam Newton and the Panthers. Who the hell they have besides Cam Newton? Ron Rivera, I understand he has a great quarterback with Cam Newton, but he doesn't have any help. That's the problem. He needs help. I understand he's a great runner, a great passer, really good outside the pocket, but he needs some. Calvin Benjamin, fine, great player, but he needs another guy besides Calvin Benjamin. And maybe the defense needs a little slacking off too. I mean, a little fix in the defense, but I think they should have done that in the draft. But hey, who am I to judge? But the Panthers, I think they'll be good enough for third place, and I believe they're going to take a 10-6 mark. Tampa Bay, 3-13. Winston, it's all they got. They have nobody. No offense, no defense. If you have no offense, no defense, and you have a good quarterback, you're not going to win many games. Plain and simple. That's how we feel about the Buccaneers. So the Bucs, I predict them to go 3-13. NFC North. I believe this is the toughest one I had to do, so this is going to be really... So, let's get over with. Good part. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to take first place. Yes, you heard me right. Minnesota is going to still take first place. But there's a thing. All they have is, I'm trying to think who's their quarterback now, because I know, Case Keenum went to Denver. And I think it's, Travis Simeon, I believe it is, their quarterback. If I remember right, I think it's Travis Simeon. Which I think, my personal view, they should have drafted a quarterback in the draft, but they didn't do that. So I'm like, with that great defense and a great offensive lineman, that's going to be good for first place. Plain and simple. And I think that's what Travis Simeon needed, because Denver don't really need that. Which I'll get to Denver in shortly, but. Yeah, for the Minnesota Vikings, it'd be good enough to get that NFC North, believe it or not. As for second place, Green Bay Packers. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, I know, back from a collarbone injury. Good. I think he's going to have a great run. He'll come back, maybe have another MVP candidate year. I mean, I'm not going to dispute about Aaron Rodgers. And the reason why I got second place, wide receiver. They got rid of Joyce, the wide receiver. I mean, but they still got Clay Matthews on defense, so that's good. Yeah, but seeing Joyce go, Jordy Nelson, just getting rid of Jordy Nelson was a heartbreaker. I mean, if Jordy Nelson stayed, I would have picked Green Bay to pick first place. But there's nobody around Aaron Rodgers to throw to now. That's the big problem with them. So, but I it's Aaron Rodgers. You never know. They could take first place. If they take first place, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Green Bay is going to take second place because of the Jordy Nelson thing. So the Packers will be 12-4. But hey, don't get your hopes up, Green Bay fans. Don't get your hopes up. I got the Lions at third place at 8-8. Matthew Stafford, great quarterback. Brandon Pettigrew, not the greatest tight end in the world. Golden Tate, good wide receiver. Not going to argue with that. But no defense. You may have a great offensive lineman, great wide receiver with Golden Tate. Not a good tight end, not a good defense they don't got. That's the problem. So that's going to probably hurt them in the long run. And I'm sure Matthew Stafford is okay with being in Detroit, meaning this is the Lions' best quarterback they had since Bobby Lane. And that's long, since 57. So, yeah. They should be grateful they have a great quarterback, which they do. They're grateful for that, so that's probably all they care about. But they like to get a Super Bowl, too, so let's get education on that. So, Lions go 8-8. And for the Chicago Bears, they're going to go 4-12. Hey! Don't get me wrong. They drafted right on drafting a quarterback. But they still need a lot of work to be done. For my estimation, let the players grow. And I think that's what they're doing right now. They fight for they do in the draft to get a high draft pick, which they did, and which was pretty good. But they still need all they need to do right now is let the young players grow. So I think that's what they're going to do right now. Who knows what could happen in the next 5 years to come for the Chicago Bears? For 5 years from now, I would say from a standpoint for 2023, probably the Bears will be in first place. They can be where Minnesota is right now. Who knows? But that being said, I think Chicago is going to take 4-12. On to the NFC East now. First place, it's going to be the defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Well, I'll say this. The Eagles they're going to be good for the next, I don't know, maybe 10 years, maybe. I know even with Nick Foles or Carson Wentz at quarterback, but it's going to be Carson Wentz, I think. Nick Foles is going to be on the bench. Despite he had an MVP, Super Bowl MVP, great run in the playoffs. Doug Peterson, main guy for Philadelphia. Eagle fans should appreciate what Doug Peterson did for them last season. Yes, it hurt me because the Patriots lost that Super Bowl, but Eagles fans should be appreciating what Doug Peterson has done. But now, quarterback situation with Matt. Now I think Eagles fans are gonna appreciate more of Nick Foles more than they do Carson Wentz, because Nick Foles got them a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz didn't, because Carson Wentz went down for the ACL last year against the LA Rams. I believe it was week 13 or something like that. And Nick Foles went to the Promised Land. Despite the fact that the Eagles had not won a championship in over 53 years or something like that. Is it 58 years or something like that? Something like that, like 57 years. Something like that, not long range. But they went through hell and back, especially the 68 season, where their worst season ever. They missed out on drafting O.J. Simpson. Then they have the Miracle in the Meadowlands, which is the part one, which is good for their part. Went through the 1980 season with Dick Vermeil in the Super Bowl. Then they got into the 90s with Randall Cunningham and Ron Jaworski. Then all of a sudden, Ron Jaworski goes, and all of a sudden Randall Cunningham goes. Rich Kotite comes in, and Bobby Hoying in there, and they go through hell with those two. Then they get back on track with Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb. Then went to the Super Bowl again, and they lost that. Got rid of both of them. Look what they are now. I mean, they went through hell and back to get to that Super Bowl championship, And I think they could be good for the next 10 years. So Eagles, 12-4. Dallas Cowboys are going to take the second place. Yep, and they're going to show some promise, though. Ezekiel Elliott and Dirk Prescott, they're going to do some damage. Ezekiel Elliott dragging on with the sexual assault thing over and over and over again. And Dirk Prescott having a sophomore year downer. But they're both going to come back strong, and I think they're going to have put up some good numbers, but they're facing a really tough division right now. Probably the toughest division in the NFL, I think. So, that being said, I like the Cowboys to go 9-7. Sorry, Jerry Jones, you're going to be 9-7 and not reach the playoffs. Third place, the New York Giants. Well, the New York Giants should have drafted a quarterback for the future instead of not doing anything about it. But they did good. They fired their head coach. Thank God for that. Eli Manning still got some years left. I think they could pull something off, but Eli Manning needs help. I mean, sure, they got Odell Beckham Jr., which I think is going to come back strong for wide receiver numbers. Sure, I think he's going to do well with that. Their defense is just plain terrible. Plain and simple. Their defense is just horrible. So, I think they're going to be a 7-9 team, but despite Eli Manning going to have some great success, though, it's just the defense can't do anything. And not only that, fourth place, the Washington Redskins. Daniel Snyder, you're gonna tank your Redskins again. I'm not gonna lie, Alex Smith, he's at the end of his prime. You should not have taken him. You should have drafted a quarterback. Well, yeah, they did draft a quarterback with Robert Griffin III. Look what happened to that. But still, since you took over the team, you haven't done anything. You've done crap. Look, but despite all that, the Washington Redskins have not won a championship since Daniel Snyder took over. In fact, you won at least 2 playoff games since then, which I believe was 1 playoff game. I mean, 1 or 2 playoff games since then. You're going free agent bust after free agent bust after free agent bust. I mean, come on. I mean, except for London Fletcher. You got him from Buffalo. That was a good free agent until he retired. But you have not done anything. You're still not going to do anything. Even the Washington Capitals have won a Stanley Cup championship before you won a championship with them. What the hell is up with that? Oh, look what happened right now. Barry Trotz went to the New York Islanders, but that's another topic. But the Redskins, you're not going to go anywhere. Despite you winning a championship with the Washington Capitals, your Washington Redskins are not going to do anything. That being said, Alex Smith is going to end his career on a bad note, 5-11. So, there you go. Time for the AFC West. First place is a first place tie, but Kansas City Chiefs are going to take first place at 11-5. Hey, Patrick Holmes II is going to be taking over the starting position. As I mentioned, Alex Smith gone to the Washington Redskins. Now Andy Reid brought in Patrick Mahomes II. This kid has a bright future, I believe. I think the ropes are on him in Kansas City. Doesn't produce? We'll see. But I think he's going to produce. Despite having a great defense. Despite having a great offensive lineman, too. But they choked in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be choking away this year. I think they'll probably win a playoff game. But who knows. But second place. It's going to be a second place tie with the LA Chargers. Hey, I didn't say San Diego, thank God. But I'm not going to lie. Phillip Rivers, they want to try to push Phillip Rivers for a run in the playoffs, which I think that's what's going to happen. They did well in the end of the year last year, and I think that's going to continue on. What they did with the Chargers. The Chargers get what they're going to do right now. They're going to try to finally push Phillip Rivers at the end of his career, try to get a championship ring, and see what happens. But who knows? But that being said, I like the Chargers being tied for first place, and they're going to get second place with 11-5. Third place, the LA Raiders, the Oakland Raiders. Last year in Oakland, they're going to be moving to Vegas. If Al Davis was alive, he's going to be rolling over his grave for that, because he wouldn't allow the Raiders to move to LA, but to Vegas. If he would allow them to move, it's probably be LA, because they were in LA in the past. They did something with that, try to close a deal with that in the 80s. But I understand that, but he would not have sent his team to Vegas, that's for sure. But that being said, David Carr and the team, I think they're overrated, to be honest with you. David Carr has went to the playoffs once, and they haven't done anything since then. They made it to the playoffs. They got missed out of the playoffs with injuries and everything else with that. But that's the problem. Carr gets hurt again the last couple of times. I mean, I don't know if that's going to continue on. If that can affect him. I don't wish anyone to get hurt, but still, I don't know what he's going to produce. Okay. 4th place, Denver Broncos. Yes, I understand you got Case Keenum as quarterback. I don't think he's the guy. In which I never thought he was the guy in the first place anyway. But Case Keenum is their quarterback. Despite they got rid of Travis Hennigan, having him to go to Minnesota. And they don't have an offensive lineman. That's a problem. Great defense with Von Miller in their crew, but still. That offense is just terrible. They haven't been the same since Peyton Manning retired with the offensive the quarterback problem. They have a quarterback problem since Peyton Manning retired. That's their big problem with that. And I just can't see anything else in that big offense having a big problem with that. I think the Broncos are going to go 4-12 this year. Probably fight for a number 1 draft pick or something like that. Go from there. So, there you go. There's my AFC West. We're going to be taking a look at the NFC North. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Killer Bees are going to go 11-5. Le'Veon Bell going to have another great fantasy run. If I advise you guys, take Le'Veon Bell in the draft. If you're the first pick, take Le'Veon Bell as your draft pick. He's going to put up some good numbers on there. So, and Big Ben doing Big Ben things, and the Killer Bees are going to do a lot. As long as those guys are still around, they're going to get the NFC North. There's no question about that. The Ravens are taking 2nd place. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. The Ravens made a bold move what they did. And I'm going to discuss this right now. What the Baltimore's doing right now. They drafted a Heisman, and I think it was Travis Simeon? No, Lamar Jackson. They drafted Lamar Jackson in the 32nd pitch, who was the 2016 Heisman Trophy winner. Heisman Trophy winners don't mean anything in the NFL, but still, they pulled off what the Minnesota Vikings did. They traded up to get that, and they got a Lamar Jackson out of the deal. And not only that, which I think Minnesota should have kept that and drafted him. And not only that, Joe Flacco is now on the clock now because of this. Because Joe Flacco hasn't been producing. This means the clock is now ticking for Joe Flacco. His job could be on the stake with him because of it. Will it affect him? I don't know. Well, is it gonna cause a quarterback controversy? Possibly. Will he keep this job? I don't know. But that being said, though, and they also drafted Hayden Hurst, who was a tight end, which that's gonna help them in the long run. Which I think that's a great pick for them. They did great in the draft, and not only that, a lot of drama going on around there too, with Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson situation. And of course, though, Ozzie Newsom's going to retire from the Baltimore Ravens general manager position after this year, and Eric DeRosa, who is the assistant GM for Ozzie Newsome, is going to take over from after that season. Will it develop? Who knows? But Ozzie Newsome pulled off another draft day moment with that because he's the master of the draft. I mean, I'm not going to argue with it. Great player at the tight end position. Great guy in the office too. We need a guy like Ozzie Newsome in the draft to make everything look interesting on that. So, but that being said, though, the Ravens, they still have a little more work to do. They're going to go 6-10. And the Bengals are taking 3rd place. All right, I'll say this. Marvin Lewis, how the hell he still got a job and everyone else is fired like Tom Coughlin? How does Andy Dalton not win a quarterback, being the quarterback, though, when he hasn't won a playoff game? How can Marvin Lewis still have a head coaching job and he hasn't won a playoff game for the last 13 years, 15 years? This does not make any sense. It does not make any sense whatsoever. My estimation on this, I had to think about it. If you get to the playoffs and you don't win it, it does not matter. I don't care what you do in the season. Sure, you'll get into the playoffs, but you can't produce other than that, and you're still not going to do anything. And you're going to go 6-10 because you don't have anything else besides Andy Dalton, who's overrated quarterback, and an overrated coach in Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis should have been gone a long time ago. But they're going to go 6-10 too, like Baltimore. Now I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns. Okay, Cleveland, you're going to still take last place in the division. I'll give you this. You're going to win ball games this year. Yes, I said it. Dusty Baker, great draft pick. You did really good on that. I think he's a Rookie of the Year candidate. And you also drafted a cornerback, and I think who is from Ohio State. Defensive Rookie of the Year, maybe. I'm not going to lie. I think they drafted an Offensive Rookie of the Year and a Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like that. I think they pulled off a great move on there. They're finally doing something right for once, I believe. But they're still going to be in last place for a while. And don't get your hopes up. Now you need to do is draft a couple more, maybe develop a little bit more, and see what they can do from there. That's what I see. But since they came back into existence in '99, they had a quarterback problem. I think they went over like 23 different quarterbacks since then. Went to the playoffs once. And went to Tim Couch and Helly Holcomb in that position. When Tommy Maddox and the Pittsburgh Steelers at that point. And they collapsed on that point. They haven't been to the playoffs since then. They had one winning record since then, and that was in 2006. When Romeo Cano was their head coach. And they haven't done anything since. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But anyways, that being said, now you can get to develop. You're going to go 4-12. Now to the AFC South. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to take first place at 11-5. Hey, I'm not going to lie. Jacksonville, I think they're going to take the number 2 position in this one. Despite the Steelers and the Chiefs being a lot in first place, the second seed is going to be with the Jags. I think they're going to be something to watch for. Their defense is on a roll. Blake Griffin's finally getting the momentum going. Everyone said they were thinking it was a bad mistake. Look what they're doing now. But great defense. That's going to be that. They're going to have a great defense for a long time now. For that, now they got the quarterback that I think they needed. And not only that, I think the Jags are on a good run. I think they're going to do something. Second place is going to be the Houston Texans. Hey, I'm not going to lie about that one. Watson the Texans, they're going to do some damage. I'm not going to lie. It was desperating for me to see Whitson get hurt. The same week that the Houston Astros won the World Series last year. But, that being said and done, they're going to do some damage sometime in the AFC South. But they're going to be good enough for second place and get a wild card. I think the Texans are going to take 10-6. Third place is going to be the Tennessee Titans. I'm not going to lie. Tennessee, they did really good, though, with Mariota in position or anything else. But they still need a little help, though. I think there's a team who made the playoffs last year was going to step back. It's going to be Tennessee. But sure, they need a... They had an easy schedule last year, but now they have a little tougher schedule. That's why I'm taking them as a 7-9 group. But that being said and done, I think they can use a defense that could help them out a little more. Who knows what could happen? But anyways, let's see how it goes. Fourth place, it's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. Look, I get it. Andrew Luck is there, but there's nobody else around him that could help Andrew Luck. There's plain and simple of that. Andrew Luck needs help bad. And I think they're going to keep continuing the stretch until they get a defensive problem or maybe an offensive lineman or something. Who knows? But if they fix all that, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be 4-12. AFC East now. My New England Patriots are going to take first place in the division. First place in the AFC, as usual. 3-13. They're going to get back where they needed to be the defending AFC champions. They're going to try to get Brady another ring before he retires. Everything else said and done. There you go. Despite what he said about with Oprah Winfrey just the other day or something like that. But I think he's going to get a new contract. They're going to sign him for another 4 years or something like that. He's going to be 41, 42, something like that this coming August or something. Right now they need to get a quarterback to help them out. That's the problem. They don't have that. But yeah, as long as Brady and company is still around, they're going to take first place. The New York Jets are going to take second place. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The Jets had a good run, but yeah, it's a big deal. Good run. But they're going to be 6-10. Good enough for that. Third place. Miami Dolphins are going to be 3-13. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill's back, but still, nothing. Plain and simple, nothing. Who else is there besides Ryan Tannehill? Just because you have a great quarterback doesn't mean he can take you anywhere else. Yeah, he has a lousy offensive lineman, lousy defense, lousy offense. They're going to be 3-13. I just can't see anything else what they're doing. Last place is going to be the Buffalo Bills. Well, I'm not going to lie. Great. Hold your thought, Buffalo fans. You made the playoffs last year. Good. I'm happy for you. You made the playoffs for the first time in possibly 18 years. But you should fight for the number 1 draft pick. That's why I'm giving you 2-14. That's why I'm doing that. You don't have a quarterback though. Just because you made the playoffs last year doesn't mean you still need a lot of help. But you need help on defense. You need help on offense. You have a great offensive lineman, but that's not going to help. Not going to help. But you need to get your development defense going and everything else. That being said, the Bills are going 2-14. Now let's get rolling to my early playoff predictions. All right, though, for my early playoff predictions, I said the way I think it's going to go is going to be the number 3 Rams versus the number 3 Packers. That's going to happen. I know Jared Goff's going to have a great year, I think, but you got to trust Aaron Rodgers more. Green Bay Packers winning that game if that's going to be the case. For the Atlanta Falcons, though, and the Saints, that's the 4 and 5 pick. Well, 5 Falcons, 4 Saints. If there's a division team that could beat anyone in there, but if there's a team that could beat anybody in the wild card or division game easily, could be someone in their own division. So I think that's what's going to happen for the Falcons case in there. They're going to beat the New Orleans Saints on this one. If that's going to be the case with Matt Ryan and Drew Brees, if that's going to be the case, that'd be a quarterback duel right there. So I like the Falcons winning that one. For the division round, the byes on that one, the Vikings and Eagles. Hey, Green Bay fans, remember I told you, don't keep your hopes up? This is it. I think if that's going to be the case with the Vikings and the Packers, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win this game. If that's going to be the case, because, you can't trust Travis Simeon, what he can do. Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, yes, I can. So I'm going to take, if that's going to be the case, I got the Packers in the championship game. And the other bye week is the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to be playing the Atlanta Falcons. Despite that, I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. Defending Super Bowl champions, they're going to keep rolling on for the championship game. Championship game I got is the Eagles and Packers. Eagles are going to win. I think if that's going to be the case, I got to go roll for the home team on that. Well, because Green Bay will get, the Packers will get, Philadelphia will get home field advantage. And I'll say not only that, Carson Wentz wants to get the monkey off his back and probably go to the Super Bowl, and that's going to be that for the champ, and that's going to happen. So Eagles are going to be still the NFC champs coming in this year, I think. On the AFC side, I got the wild card teams, the Texans and the Steelers. Steelers number 3, Texans number 6. That's going to be the case on that one. I got to trust the Big Ben and the Steelers and the Killer Bees more than that. So I'm going to go with the Steelers on that one. Chiefs and Chargers. Remember I told you about the divisional game? Is it the team and the players that can beat anyone? That could be someone in their own division. So, but I'm not going to go with that. Chiefs at number 4, Chargers number 5. I think Patrick Mahomes can do something. I think this is it. So I think the Chiefs may do something about it. Who knows? So in the divisional round, Patriots have the bye week. Jaguars got the bye week too. And Patriots get home field advantage, by the way. And not only that, the Patriots are facing the Chiefs. In the divisional round rematch from last year, the Steelers and the Jaguars. Only this time, it's in Jacksonville. That being said, though, I think if there's a team that could beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs, it's that defense of Jacksonville of theirs. I like Jacksonville winning that game. And for the Patriots and Chiefs, I like the Patriots in this one because you got to trust Tom Brady in hands. And, of course, you got the Patriots and Jaguars. don't encourage us on this one. Rematch of last year? I expect this could be a little tougher than it was last year. You know, the Jaguars almost beat us last year, and besides Brady, we played horrible. For this one, it could go to overtime, and I think the Patriots are going to pull another miracle off. Take the Patriots in this one. So there you go, the Super Bowl rematch from last year. Going to be the Patriots and the Eagles. Who I think is going to win? The Patriots are going to get and come back from revenge like last year. So the Patriots are going to win this one. If I had to choose a final score on that one, it could be 38-34. Similar to last year, which I think it was 38-33 or 41-33 or something like that. So if I had to pick a final score, that would be up in the 30s or something. I expect it to be like that. So despite that, here's your early playoff predictions. There you go. This is Andrew Warren signing off. Peace.